I'm going to show you how to turn this into this. Today I'm going to be giving you some fantastic tips on how to decorate your journal and really make it your own. So make sure you stay tuned because I'm going to show you full pictures of the pages that we're working on today. And always before we get started, I like to ask that if you do love videos like this, that you make sure you hit the subscribe button below and also hit the notification button so that you'll be notified when more videos like this one come out. So as you can see, I took out several items because I wasn't really sure what I was going to be using. And that's what you can do with your journals as well. Just take some things out and just lay them out and, go through them as you go to try to figure out what you need. Now I'm cutting out some photos that I just printed on my printer. I don't have one of those instant printers, so I just printed directly from my phone to my printer, and you can do that also. I use glossy paper, and I have everything that I'm using down below in the description. So now I'm just taking out a few of the pictures because I'm not going to use all of these pictures, but the theme of this is really repeating patterns. And if you've watched any of my videos before, you know how much I love repeating patterns. So I picked out some pictures with repeating patterns. And now I'm just going through and I'm trying to find a background for this because I'm still not sure how I'm going to lay these pictures out. So I just went through some of the 6x6 pattern cardstock that I had to try to figure out a piece that I needed. So I picked out this striped one and I really love the way it looked, and almost every page, or should I say paper that I have that's complementary to this really fit within the scheme. So I decided to do a bit of layering as well. So I'm taking the pictures and I'm just laying them on this little pad that I got from Tuesday Morning, and it cost 99 cents, y'all. Just 99 cents. And I love the papers inside of it. They're actually journaling cards on one side, but I like the patterns that were on the back. So those are the ones that I'm using. So now I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to actually do this layout. I'm not sure. So what I did was I took out a pizza box that I got from the pizza joint, and they actually gave it to me for free. I know that they'll sell them to you as well, but I just asked and they gave it to me. And I put some paper towels inside of it, and then I'm just putting those in between the pages so that it won't bleed or get onto the other pages, because I'm going to use these shimmer mist that I have. And the shimmer mist are believe they're alcohol paints, and they have a bit of like gold tones in them, and I mixed them up. Now in the beginning you saw me pull out just 3 of them, but I actually used, I believe, about 5 different colors. I used a kind of a greenish tone, a bluish tone, a brownish tone, and I also used kind of a shimmery gold tone as well. I was going to use some Heidi Swap gold, but then I decided against it. So I'm always impatient when it comes to drying these pages. And at first the page didn't look like much, but after it got dry, it looked just fantastic. And I used my dryer to dry those pages. So next, I'm going ahead and committing to putting down the actual pictures onto the cardstock itself. And I'm still not exactly sure how I'm going to layer these or what's going to mix with what. So you'll see me kind of rifling through things. Now, one thing I like to do is on the edges of the pictures, I like to use ink on there, which is a very good technique so that that white doesn't show, because that paper, the glossy paper that I printed the pictures on, is very thick. So when you cut it, you're definitely going to see the white edges. So I would suggest using some ink, and you can just use like a cotton swab to do this. You can use like a piece of paper towel if you need it. You just need just a little bit of ink. And I did use the Tim Holtz Distressed ink to do this with, and a dabber, because I finally got some, so I decided to use it. And when you do this also, depending on how much you use, it'll also give it kind of a vintagey feel. So I went ahead and I made sure that I did all of my edges that way. Now I did each picture and I went ahead and I laid them out and I kind of did them the same way as well. The last picture I didn't layer it as much as the other ones because I just thought it was a little bit overkill. So I just only put like one piece around it. And by the way, the pictures that I'm using are, one is some books from a library, a picture of IKEA carts, and then just some washi tape samples that I had. So nothing special. You know, you just take pictures differently when it's time to, when you start journaling, basically. So I decided I want to try another technique, which you could definitely use, and that's to split the picture in half. Well, I kind of did it off center, but I still like the way that it came out. And I went ahead and I used double stick tape and I put all those pictures down. So of course, me being me, I don't feel like this layout has enough. And of course, if you are a scrapbooker, which I don't really consider myself a scrapbooker, but if you're a scrapbooker, then you kind of know what I mean. It just seems like the page needed more. So I opened up this little pack of tags are what they're called, but they're really just little pieces of ephemera from Seven Gypsies, and I just picked a few pieces that I would like to use. I also used just a spot of washi in this layout because, you know, I love washi, and I'm trying to use more washi, and I've definitely been doing a good job of that, but I only used just a little bit in this particular layout. So I put these letters up here because I thought they fit really well since I had the books in here also. So the next thing I did was I went through my Tim Holtz Tiny Words, and I always tell people you don't have to buy these books. They really are inexpensive though, but you can just use a typewriter if you have it, or you can use your computer, type the words out, and then cut them out and put them on. And then you can just use American typewriter font, and it looks just the same. But you'll just have to glue it on because it won't have that adhesive on the back. Or you can use sticker paper when you print it out, and then when you cut it, all you have to do is stick it on the paper. I know I was really talking fast, so I hope that made sense. I also went and put a little bit of glue on the edges because they were sticking up, and it was driving me a little bit crazy. So originally, I hadn't intended to use my stamps, but then I was like, you know what? The stamps always add that extra touch, and I had some ink that matched this layout. So I took out some of my stamps, and you can see them there on the desk, and I actually did a review on some of those stamps, so I'll leave a link below to that as well. So I went ahead and I put the stamps on. Now I am using 32-pound paper within this journal, so the stamps that didn't totally bleed through, but the ones that I'm putting here at the bottom, they did bleed through a little bit, and that's because I really wasn't paying attention. I used a lot of ink and I was stamping hard. But it's okay because when I do my next page, I'll definitely be able to cover that up. So now I'm going to start journaling, and as soon as I got started, I realized that I was using that G2 pen, G2 Pilot pen, and it wasn't working on that mist that I sprayed on the page. And so I quickly messed the page up, so I had to kind of do a little bit of a fix. Now, my brother asked me, what do you do if you make a mistake when you are recording these? And I told him, you know what? You just keep on continuing to go on. It's good for people to see your mistakes because, listen, there's no bad mistake when you're doing something like this. It's for you. You can cover things up really quickly. It's just there are no mistakes. So I pulled out my Sharpie pen, and that worked perfectly because I have plenty of Sharpies in different colors, and these are the Sharpie ultrafine pens. So just keep that in mind. Sharpie has different types of tips, so you want to use ultrafine pens, and that's a tip for you. So I finished up my journaling, and I went ahead and I dated it, and I have to say I really love the way it came out. That paint, it was just fantastic. So if you love videos like this, please make sure that you give this video a thumbs up. And also, I would love to hear a comment from you Are you journaling yet? If you're watching me, I hope that you are. So with that, I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease from your sweet Lotus Blossom and lovable Lizzie. Have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.